AI no matter what. Because all I care about is I want to go to a press conference and say, we are at the forefront of AI. Okay. So if it's already in progress, I think you have to have a governance structure in place to be thoughtful of why we are doing the AI initiative, right? I know a lot of large pharma, they have governance organization that evaluate even before you get on an AI journey, to say, what are you doing, biases, you need to follow this protocol, that protocol. So they have the AI governance committees, so they'll probably stop you from going on to AI journey. But if you already started, hopefully started on good grounds. Otherwise.
Any questions from the audience? There's one right there.
I'm just curious, how do you, how do writing like policies and procedures around how people utilize AI, how does that fit into the implementation plans that you were talking about? Like, where would you see that fitting in?
So the question is, how do you do writing policies and procedure about the use of AI?
Yeah, would it come in the beginning, would it come in the beginning, would it come at the end, like where do you,
And what is your role? So what is your role? Because the context of your role is key to that question. If you are part of the AI governance team, and if you're creating these policies and procedures, then the organization will have to follow because that is your kind of governance principle.
Mm-hmm.
But if you are, what is your role in this context? Like,
Yeah, so I would be, I said, like the head of the AI governance.
right.
Yeah.
So the one thing that I always said, look, I don't have a good answer, but I might hint towards something that might make sense, is when you create a governance structure that is very complex, it stifles innovation. So your idea behind the use of AI and implementation of AI cannot be grounded in so much controls that nobody can do anything, because I've seen this happening all day long. Large pharma, they invested heavily in AI platforms, and their internal team members could never use the platform because it was so complicated for them to get their use case through a POC. I said, I don't care, I'm good with Excel. So I don't know if that gives you anything, but I think having a thoughtful approach to what the organizational intent behind AI is, and how do you control good data, ongoing data, and it's not really good data where you start from. There is a huge piece where you have to, on an ongoing basis, continue to train your model with good data, exactly what you want it to be trained on for you to get really good validated responses.
Yeah, I think that helps. I mean, I think what I heard you say was that maybe starting with like broader policies are better than starting with more restrictive policies. If you need to start with something early on in this implementation process.
I think so. In this context, when we had implemented the SOPs, they were to do with their functional processes, not the use of AI. So that's a clarification. So they have their SOPs of how they engage with the survey teams and create the surveys and send surveys out, and how do they do insights. So it was those SOPs and procedures, not necessarily on the use of AI. The use of AI is more to do with change management, to say when we create this agent, this is how you use it, and here is a way to keep your ongoing data funneled into the LLM so that it's doing exactly what you want and it's not getting diluted.
Okay, there's a couple other questions. Seek out Rishi during lunch or during a break and get them up. Thanks again.
Thank you.